Hello everyone. So I've just been watching a video by Chris Capoon, who very nicely picked one of these Belfries, and as I said to him, it was these are my absolute favourite shaped lock. I've got a pretty wide selection of similar shapes, high shackle guards, oval, rounded shaped padlocks. They just appeal to my total lack of artistic nature, but you know, they must appeal to me somehow. I'm not quite sure how, but they do. Anyway, I thought I've been thinking for a while I would do a little bit on these, because as with a lot of my videos, they've got a patent number on them, and I'm always interested in what the patents are about, and it gives me an excuse to take a lock apart. But let's start with what I've got here. I have, I think, 4 Belfry branded oval high shackle guarded padlocks. I say I think I've got 4 because this one doesn't have any brand markings on it. But the reason I think that is because it's probably one of the earlier ones I've got, and they haven't stamped it. And they possibly haven't stamped it because it was early in its in the days, and they probably hadn't got the patent number for it. That's an option. The other option is they just didn't, or finally it has got quite a bit of surface damage. It might have been worn off, but having looked at it quite a bit, I can't see any remnants there. So, but I'm pretty sure it is a Belfry. It's exactly the same dimensions, exactly the same rivet locations, you name it, it's the same as all the others. This one is a Belfry, it's marked up as a Belfry. It also doesn't have the patent number on it. So that's interesting. So again, I think sort of next step on age-wise. I've then got this one. This is a 4-lever. It hasn't got a key at the moment. I'm mid trying to make a key for it. So we'll give me another year on that one. It's a 4-lever lock. And the interesting aspect of it is that it's exactly the same size as this one, which is a 5-lever lock. This one does have a key, and it's a 5-lever lock, but they're exactly the same thickness, same depth, exactly the same dimensions, no change at all. And the way that they've put 5 levers into this one, whereas they've only got 4 in here, is not by playing with the lever size. Levers are exactly the same size, exactly the same shape as far as I can tell. But this one has, in the depths of here, which you can't see, and I'm afraid, you know, I'll try and take a photo of it if I can. There is actually a fixed plate in between the rack of 4 levers and the movable plate that's attached to the locking mechanism. Now I'm assuming that's to sort of try and protect the locking mechanism from picking or putting a tensioner in. It does make it a bit of a pain trying to cut a key for it. It also makes it a bit of a pain to try and get a tensioner in there, because the tensioner's got to be quite small to fit up behind that plate. But for the 5-lever, all they've done is taken that plate out and put an extra lever in place. So that's my little collection of Belfry ovals. I said I'd like to take one apart. Well, it's not going to be one of these. Sorry. Unless anyone's got one that's got really battered, and they would like to send it to me, which you know, that would be a right bonus. But anyway, no, I'm not taking these apart. I'm sorry. They're just too good for that. They're my favourites, and they're going to stay as they are. But luckily, Belfry produced another set of locks with the same patent number on it. So I've got a couple of these, say again probably 4 or 5 of these. They're all the same shape as the Squire Old English. They're the same shape as lots of other locks that all look very, very similar and all have the same shape and style. I mean, they're so close to the Squire Old English. This is a 550. You know, it's quite literally to the millimetre exactly the same. So you know, that's there's obviously someone taking let's say encouragement from other people's designs, and I'm going to come on to that on my next video hopefully. So anyway, this one has been battered around anyway. It was covered in paint when I got it. It doesn't have a key, and I'm not that precious about taking it apart. So I've drilled out the pins. Now, the patent number is 325346. I'll put some information about it in stills over the top of the video, and it's all about how to form the body and how to form particularly this side panel, the side protected part of the body. Now, the patent belongs to Henry Harrison and Sons Limited, and they are the people who own Belfry. So it's a Belfry patent. And if I take the front off, there are a couple of things that are of interest before we hit the patent side of life. One is this is a two lever lock, and it's not just that they've put two large levers in it to fill the space. It's obviously the same shape and size as a 4-lever lock, and so all they've done is they've just put two levers in place and they've put some spaces in. So there are some spaces, two spaces, same thickness as the levers, and you've got exactly the same levers there as you would have in a 4-lever lock. So it's obviously just a cost saving. The 2-lever will cost you less than the 4-lever. They've saved because they're not having to use as many brass fiddly levers, which are expensive to manufacture. If nothing else, you've got the cost of the brass, you've got the cost of the spring, you've got to form them, put them all together. So they're saving money on that. Apart from that, there's nothing hugely exciting about the internals of this. It's all pretty standard. So the patent itself relates to the way that you form the metal around the outside. And I'll bring it a little bit closer, which hopefully will come up in the video. It's a single piece of metal, and it's formed back on itself and goes either side of the pins, the rivets that hold this all together. So it's very solid. It's held in place in 4 locations. It's double thickness throughout the majority of the circumference. A small gap just here. The original patent actually shows these being riveted, and there's a rivet going through at these 2 locations here and here. It also shows some options for reforming it, which actually do exist in these oval shaped ones, to forming it so that it comes down and it covers where the shackle enters, so that you don't get the visibility in through the top there. You just come into a very dead space that you just can't see into. And again, that's part of the patent. This one must be a bit more modern. It's been tack welded, so tack weld in this case probably just 2 electrodes, one either side, crimp them together, stick a voltage through it, and it'll just put a little tack weld to hold these together. So that's really what it is, and these are all formed in exactly the same way with this double thickness body. So I'm going to stop there because the last time I tried to do this video it ended up being 14 minutes long, and that's way too long for a video, even for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to come on to have a little conversation about stealing other people's ideas, and we'll do that one in the next video. So I hope you found that one vaguely interesting about the insides and the patent for forming a body, and we'll move on to hopefully another video in a little bit of time. So everybody, stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.